And so when you think about the things that can derail us in our relationships, in our career, a lot of times it's because we have these patterns that show up and they impact our relationships or ability to really see our truth.
Now, you mentioned this issue of patterns. Where do they come from? Is this part of an intergenerational loop that we find ourselves on?
And I think one of the things that we find that we wrestle with is that we don't recognize that there are so many things that we're dealing with that are coming from the generations before us. And perhaps it's not about what they've actually experienced in their lived experience in this lifetime, but it's things that their grandparents and great-grandparents experienced. And so therefore they might have an instantaneous response to something and not know that that's actually where it comes from. And you can imagine that creates a lot of shame for us. It creates a lot of blaming for us because we don't know what the root of it is.
That is really, really powerful. And I would assume then that this not only impacts your life professionally, it impacts your life personally, correct?
Absolutely. Because again, whatever your patterns of behavior are going to show up and present themselves in relationships. And if you've ever had a moment where you stop and think about, like, why did I react or respond in such a strong way to something that maybe seemed relatively innocuous, a lot of times it's coming from that deep trauma work that we have not worked on, that we have not addressed within ourselves.